Whether you're new to the speaking world or you just want to hone your craft, this interview will show you how to find the right mentors, successfully reach out to them, and establish meaningful relationships that could change the arc of your career. Hello, we're here for 8 unedited minutes about mentoring in the speaking world. We're here with Barbara Rozgonyi, PR and marketing expert and professional speaker. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Carter. It's always great to talk to you.
Thank you. And I'd love to just jump right in. About when we were talking about mentoring in the speaking world, you said one of the most important things is to first just know what you want to do before seeking a mentor. Tell me more about that. How did you discover that yourself?
Well, that's a good question. You know, when you asked me to think about mentorship, I thought, how did I look for people I wanted to follow? And I think whatever you're doing in life, it's important to seek out the models that really appeal to you.
Okay.
And in the speaking world, there are so many people who do so many different things. Their topics, everything from motivation to marketing to healthcare to wellness, change management, it's all over the board. So for me, what I looked for is people who were successful in the marketing and business world, because that's where I wanted to be. And then I looked at what topics were interesting that people were really resonating with. That's all good, but then what do I know that can help contribute to the conversation? So to me, it's a process of really trying to see what's out there, what really appeals to you, and then finding out how what you have already fits into what's going on.
So once you find out what appeals to you, if someone were to say like marketing and PR, I know I want to speak about marketing and PR or any topic, what's that first step to go find a mentor? Because that seems to be an ambiguous gray area. It's not just, oh, I'll just go get one.
Well, it could be as simple as going to a meeting and sitting in a room and listening to a speaker you really like, connecting with them on LinkedIn, and then following everything they do. So I kind of call that a backstage mentor.
Okay.
You know, you're back there, or maybe you're in the audience, you're watching them, but maybe you don't connect one-on-one. Maybe you do.
So it's like virtual mentoring almost.
Exactly.
Okay.
The best way, I think, is to go to a group like National Speakers Association. There are chapters in every state. We have a great one here in Illinois. And there you can get to know people who talk about a lot of different topics. You can even go to the site for the chapter and look at who does what. Mm-hmm. You can reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a career in speaking. What advice would you give me? Make sure you have your questions ready, and also
talk more about that. Because you could just say, "Hey, want to be my mentor?"
Well, I had somebody who sent me an email this week and said, "I want 15 minutes." And I said, "What are your questions?" Because I don't mind giving people 15 minutes, but it's very helpful to me if I know what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
So if you can have your questions ready to go, how do I get started is a super basic question. So maybe it's like, what do you really want to know how to get started with? How to develop a presentation, how to start a business, how to contact potential meeting planners. So there's a lot to think about. Mm-hmm. And if you want, you can also go onto Facebook. The National Speakers Association has an open group, and there are other groups.
So anyone can join and start asking questions.
Exactly. And so what you can do there is you can do a search to see if someone's already asked the question. Oh. And then that way you can get a feel for what the answers were. You can also do that on Google and look in Quora or LinkedIn groups. But if you really, I would do research first to see if the question has been answered before, and not only that, if the same answer comes up every time, then you've pretty much got your answer.
So how about when you find that one-on-one, you get one-on-one time, you research and you ask the right questions, mm-hmm. How do you build that into a relationship beyond just that one phone call? And I realize it won't happen every time. Sometimes it's a phone call.
Right.
What kind of things can you add? Would you suggest that somebody add to the conversation just so it's not just thanks for it, call, bye?
Well, I think what I would do is I would follow that person, and if they post articles on LinkedIn or if they have a blog, make sure that you are in contact with them socially. It's a public kind of connection, but it lets them know that you're paying attention. Even something as simple as liking a tweet or retweeting what they put up, people notice these things. And so they know that you're tracking what they're doing. Speakers, really successful speakers, are super busy people. And it's not that they don't want to give you time, it's just really they don't have a lot of time. But maybe if there's someone you like and they're coming to your town and you see that and you're following them, you could offer to have coffee with them or drinks or something, because it can be very lonely when you're on the road.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it is. It's very true. So as far as how could that conversation go, what you could do is you could say that I'm working on a project. You could ask for feedback if you want to do that. It really depends on how much you want from that other person. I think it would be great if you set up a relationship where you check in and just talk once a month if they have time for that. If they don't, that's fine. I think what's really helpful is if you say, I'm looking for a mentor. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone to help me with my speaking career. I'm looking for 10 or 15 minutes a month via phone call or email. Would you be open to do that?
That's so important, 10 or 15 minutes a month, so they don't think, God, I only have 90 minutes.
Well, that's it, you know. I don't think that most people do want to help. They really do. But, you know, there are times where you think, oh, I can't do anything. I just don't have time. And I know with the National Speakers Association, we have a Power Women's group. So we have a mentor group that's built in. Every month you can sign up to talk to someone for, I think it's like half an hour. And so that's good. You know that every month you can rotate the mentor you're working with, and that also expands your network.
Definitely.
You could do that on your own too. I mean, you don't have to be a member of a group, but I think it's really important to target who you want to talk to, what you want to talk about, and also be a fan of theirs. You know, it's speakers love, who doesn't love getting approval? You don't want to like go overboard.
Yeah, what would real quick, what would overboard be? Just in
like,
case.
Yeah, oh, I love you, you're so fantastic, you know, and on, you know, just kind of like, you can imagine like if you have a dog that when people come in, they jump all over him and they're super excited, you know, and then you've got another one that just kind of looks up, somewhere in between that,
Okay.
you know.
So don't be the annoying jumpy dog.
No.
So if people aren't the annoying jumpy dog and they find someone they're really grateful for, how can people start to give back? Because that's another thing, a huge question of, Barbara's been such a big help to me, but she's up here in her career. What would you suggest as far as giving back in any way that people could use to help jumpstart relationships and make it a two-way street?
Well, one thing that's worked for me recently is I was the dean of the National Speakers Association Illinois Speakers Academy.
Okay.
So for 6 sessions, 4 hours at a time, we sat together with the students and watched other speakers come in and talk about the topic of the day. So that was an opportunity for them to give back, and it was an opportunity for the students to really learn. And if they have questions, of course, they can follow up. But I think, you know, it could be as simple as asking, if you were in the position where you want to give back, you could even put a question on LinkedIn that says, hey, I have an hour open next Tuesday to give advice or answer questions about whatever your career is. If it's speaking, that's great. Let me know what questions you would have, or sign up for a time here. I think really just making that connection is important, and then also going to meetings, finding organizations, getting face-to-face with people so you can really get to know who they are. It just makes such a difference. I know you and I always enjoy seeing each other at events, you know, it just builds up a relationship that you can't get any other way.
And if you were, for the last 30 seconds, what's the most important reason why somebody should become a mentor in the speaking world?
So that you can give other people an opportunity to get their message out. Every speaker has a reason to speak, and for me, it's so powerful to get a testimonial from someone who listened to me 2 years ago. This just happened, and they talked about how they'd grown their LinkedIn network. The person was from South Africa, and they'd heard me speak in Vancouver. And it's one of these things where you go there, you're like, well, I hope somebody got something out of this. But I really feel like as a professional speaker, you are called for a reason, and it's your opportunity to help people either advance their career, their life, manage other people, address problems, just really have a better, clearer path.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's a perfect note to end on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.